We respectfully request the Sangha of great virtues, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tận tình, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật tiết chúng sanh, tịnh chiến diệu hào luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, thức chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đần Thổ Sư Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hư Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tạc Tạc Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya La Ha Đế Tam Miêu Tam Mô Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai jian, 万劫难遭遇我今，见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Qingliang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns and all good knowing advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、尽量大士、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư và Thượng Tiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 26th of May 2024. Thank you for joining us here at DTT to continue our discussion of the first chapter, the Avatamsaka Sutra. We are on slide 594. We are nearing the end of the description of the celestial kings of the third desire heaven. Desire realm is where we live right now, and above us there are 6 levels of heavens. The 6th one, the most famous one, is the heavens where the demons live, so they get to see everyone from the top. And so they don't miss anything that happens underneath them. And so they're not something to be messed with. And then we discuss up to the third desire heaven right now, the Suyama heaven. And then next heaven would be the heaven of the Christian God. Okay? All right, before I get started, there one thing I like to say, 2 things, but I forgot what the second one is. The first one is that as a reminder, I want to stress this over and over again. That is, when I first started teaching Chan, I used to be a lot more discriminatory. I used to insist upon the full lotus posture. And most of you who survived are the ones who are able to do very well. Nowadays, I don't have time to teach you anymore. All newcomers anymore. So my students are being trained to teach you. Okay. And therefore, I've been telling them this, but I want to stress this again, that when I was teaching, I used a lot of expedients to speed it up so that I can train and get our students to get up there and to improve very quickly. So I give people a lot of shortcuts. Nowadays, when you teach Chan, you're not me. Therefore, I'm asking you to be more conservative. Don't push people. If people, especially many people, most of the people will struggle with the full lotus. Full lotus is not important for you to get into full lotus. But if you want to improve a lot faster, then you should try to get into full lotus. That's the secret of the Wei Yang training. When I was teaching, there are some people who could not get into full lotus, and that's normal, and they didn't like to sit either, and that's normal. But I use a lot of expedients to help them along. You're not me, I remind you. So when, especially you students, you should take it easy. You can increase your sit. If you choose to train yourself into full lotus, which is the best thing possible for you, then you should push yourself incrementally. Never go crazy on me, okay? So typically, you push your sit to be a little bit longer, incrementally. I'd say 2 minutes maximum, 1 minute, 20 seconds, it doesn't matter, as long as you increase a little bit every single time. That's the whole idea behind it. Then you find, okay? And when your legs you still feel it in your legs, stop pushing, let it heal completely, and then do it again, okay? That's how you train yourself. And for those of you who unfortunately have struggled because it took too long for you to heal properly, then do not stop crossing your legs. Sit on a chair or something. Give yourself time. Be gentle to yourself. Don't be like Chung Yin Sunim. Chung Yin Sunim needs to learn to be more gentle. You sit there and go forth. Okay? And so you just, it's nothing to worry about. Eventually, it will heal, okay? And then your body is capable of healing, of tremendous healing. You give it time, that's all. There's nothing to worry about, okay? And if you have any concerns, you should feel free to contact us, okay? We will hold your hands and guide you until you drop out. Okay? That's what we do. Everyone is important to us. Don't go crazy on me, okay? Take it easy. It's no rush. I finally understand how to train you. So at first I did a lot of experiments, but there's no need to do those crazy things I used to do anymore. Any questions? Okay, very good. Text 594. Celestial King, blaze of light, gain a passage into liberation of, everywhere observing sentient beings with vast great eyes, and then go to tame and subdue them.
光焰天王得广大眼普观众生，而往调伏解脱门。
Okay. Commentary slide 595. This one we give you are the comments from Master YongHua. He is the authority on this Avatamsaka Sutra. So for us to be able to read his commentary is extremely beneficial. Very insightful, his commentary. I leave it there because I'm learning as well, just like you. And then I might make more comments here, okay? And so, according to the great master, this is kind of a cool state. This celestial king, who is a very, very big shot within Buddhism, he's recognized to be a big shot. That's why his name is mentioned in this king of sutras in Buddhism. This is the most important sutra in Buddhism. And yet his name is mentioned here. That tells you how big he really is, okay? And then yet he manifests himself as just a world ruler, okay? It's a tiny, tiny role within Buddhism, right? And so he according to Master YongHua, this guy here, he observes living beings, meaning many, many living beings. How? Because he has eyes everywhere in his hair pores. Okay, so that he uses each and every one of them to observe living beings. It's kind of interesting. When you think about it, it's I don't think anything that AI can even touch. So many living beings, and if you can count the hair pores in your body, it's just so many of them, and each one of them. Looks at living beings, so he observes living beings with vast and great eyes, and think about how all these beings they're observing are processed centrally in his brains. That's pretty amazing. Countless processors, countless circuits in his head. Okay, so it's so interesting to me, okay? But it's just an imagery for you, okay, to say it has 1,000 eyes or 10,000 eyes, because when you think about it, even when you count the number of hair pores on your body, which is doable, okay, the living beings are countless. There aren't enough hair pores on your body for you to put an eye there, install an eye there, or camera there to observe living beings. So this is just an analogy that tells you that the Bodhisattva is able to multitask. He doesn't need an eye on every single hair pore, but he uses his true eye, which is countless, okay? And that's why with his true eye here, can observe countless living beings, not just limited to his hair pores. Don't get that impression. Hair pores here is the Chinese way of impressing you. I used to be so impressed. I said, wow, I'd love to have eyes like that, you know? And I would go crazy on my mascara. Each one differently. Huh? Wouldn't that be cool? Huh? And so, no, it's not like that. He has one set of true eyes, which is capable of observing infinite number of living beings. That's his state. That's his state of spiritual powers, and his state of wisdom is that when he sees them, okay, he sees everything. Okay, he sees so many living beings. Okay, that when he sees them, he will realize this is a part that we don't have. Just seeing is not enough. Seeing is only a function for him to do what he really wants to do. All he wants to do is to be able to go and to to tame and subdue them. Okay? Meaning that he's able to see them. And just because he sees them doesn't mean he springs to action right away. He sees them. But the word here is to contemplate and observe. So he observes them. And he waits and waits and waits. So you see, so this one true eye he has, he sees so many, infinitely many living beings at the same time. And then he doesn't get excited and say, oh, wow, I'm going to have to save that one. He just patiently waits until it's the right time, okay? When it's time, the ideal time to tame and subdue the living beings. Then he shows up. He goes to them. And then to tame and subdue living beings by whatever expedients he felt necessary. Some might be like, for men, we like sweet talk. Okay? For girls, what do you girls like? I don't know. Money? What, mascara? Look? Beauty. Plastic surgery. Okay. All right. So he knows he has an infinite number of expedients to deploy, to use in order to tame and subdue living beings. Why is there a need to tame and subdue living beings? Aren't you all reasonable? Why tame and subdue? Veronica is reasonable, right? You need to be tamed and subdued, ma'am? Do you? No, see, he says, I don't. You don't need to tame and subdue me. I'm reasonable. I listen to reason.
Well, I think that sometimes we can be quite outrageous, so maybe that's what it's referring to.
Sometimes he's what?
Sometimes we can be quite outrageous.
Really? I thought it was only Asians are like that. Never mind. Yes. Tame and subdue refers to the mind. The mind of living beings are sometimes misbehave, okay? And they don't listen to reason. That's how we are all wired. Most of the time we're reasonable, but here's what happened. This is insider's tip. Would you like to hear it? Ordinary people, when you are reasonable, when you are logical, when you are normal, then you can't be helped. Like, look at Apple, LA Apple. Look at her. She's reasonable. She's smart. Very kind. So when she's like that, and you come to her and say, I want to save you. You say what? You see? So that's why this is the professional secret. When you want to save someone, we patiently observe and do nothing until there's an opportunity for us to spring to action. You see? So that's why he observes with these eyes. Okay? Instead of watching TV or Netflix, he observes. How interesting. Look at him. Okay? And so they observe quietly, don't say anything. Okay? Even like IMPs here. Okay? He doesn't say anything, he just look at you. Okay, very peaceful. Okay? And so that's what they do. They observe you and they wait until there's an opportunity. What opportunity? It happens. Oh, this one has problem with her legs too. Do you have a problem with her legs too, huh? The young one? Oh. Never mind. So what happens is that, and this is very important for you to pay attention to when you try to help someone, okay? When they're happy, be glad, okay? Don't try to help them. You have to wait until they are in trouble. That's when they are more willing to listen to. When they're successful, there's no point in talking to them. If they're happy, they don't need you. But when they're unhappy, when they're so afflicted, that's when there's an opportunity. So we wait and wait. Okay? And when you're afflicted, when living beings are afflicted, it's because the mind goes berserk. That's why the bodhisattvas then see it as an opportunity for them to go over and help you tame and subdue your mind and bring it under control. Professional secret, folks. It sounds as simple like I observe and I come and to tame and subdue. There's a timing here. There's a methodology here that worked for the bodhisattvas. They don't indiscriminately go and say, would you be interested in being tame and subdued? And by the way, there's a Rolex watch here, very cheap today, 50% off. Okay? No, they patiently wait. Okay? So that's why it's fascinating. It's a very, very interesting world. They meditate, okay? They cross their legs, full lotus, they meditate. And while they close their eyes here, but actually they're observing living beings, especially the ones in their heavens, the gods in their heavens. Okay? And when it's time, they manifest in front of them to help them. Questions and comments? Okay, next. Yes, Patricia. 5.
Emitofuo, Master. Master, what happens if we want to be tame and subdue for this?
Why would you do that?
Well, because that means that they will help us to get higher levels.
No, you don't need to be tame, subdued to get to high levels. Our people are normal. What are you talking about? You make it sound like we only work with crazy people.
Okay, that
most of our people, look around you. Patricia, please look around. You see very smart and reasonable people. They don't need to be tamed.
I'm sorry, Master. I get confused, so I know that tame and subdue means that the people is a little bit crazy, right? Like
yeah, they're a bit out of control.
Okay.
Like,
I get it.
Like when you spend too much money, then the husband says, you don't have a husband. The husband, married to women, when they spend too much money, the husband kind of need to be tamed and subdued.
Okay,
Not
get
you,
it, Master.
but women it's okay to spend money, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you, Master.
Yes, sir. 2, man's perspective.
Hey, Master. So when people is peaceful, like a LA apple, very peaceful, and
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, they don't need help at the time, and if people was like in chaos or outrageous, you need a lot of wisdom to try to help them. Otherwise, make it either bad, even worse. So it sounds like a celestial king's job. So to me, I'm a lay person. If I see someone in a situation, should I still observe or should I help them? Because obviously I don't have such wisdom sometimes. That's my question.
Okay, good question. I don't know. I don't know how lay people can help. I only come from a monk. Okay, what do you think? You're a lay person, you see others, needing help. They need to be tamed and subdued. What are you supposed to do? What do you think you should be doing? Rule of thumb. Okay, be careful. Thank you for asking the question. It's a very good question. You don't want to help without being asked, as a rule of thumb. Okay? Even if when they ask you, you have to be careful. You say, they have to ask you, usually the norm is 3 times. Then, when they're really sincere, they're really serious, there's a chance for you to help. But if they're suffering and they're afflicted and they're so angry and so forth, they're not asking you for help. That's the point. Okay? The reason that the bodhisattvas can observe and decide its time is because what they have is this knowledge, this insight that we don't have. They know that there's an affinity with these living beings, so that when they're in trouble, they sort of knew each other already. They're not strangers like it's the way it sounds, like it's all these things. No. This is a bodhisattva secret, and please don't take it wrong. Bodhisattvas, they know their limitations. Okay? It says like they observe the living beings and wait for the right time to come and help subdue them. What it's not saying, in my opinion, is that they don't get to observe every single living being. Who are they observing? They're observing living beings that they have prior conditions with. So there is a connection already so that in what form? For example, in the past, these living beings gave $1 to this bodhisattva when he was a monk. And that has been increasing, earning interest. So now it's worth a lot of money. After all millions of years, a buck becomes humongous. Okay, more than a super lotto, let me tell you. Okay, and so now there's prior affinities already. So that's why when he shows up, okay, they're very receptive to it. That's what's just not spoken to all of us. We think it's a simple thing. Oh, they need help, go and help. It doesn't work like that. Unless there's affinities, you can't really help people. Okay? So that's why my advice to all of you is you try to help people, kind-hearted and so forth, including your own families. Okay? Don't make the mistake. Wait until they ask for it. And make sure they're really sincere. Because some people, like Apple behind you, when she asked, she doesn't mean it. She said, would you like to help me? Well, you look at her and say, no, you're not really sincere. Okay? So that's why you make her ask, and you say, okay, yes, I'd like to help you. And then you don't do anything. Yeah, I don't do anything until she asks 2 more times. Then, when you see it's really sincere, then you can possibly help. And what kind of help you do? You listen. Because, folks, the one thing that all you can do, we don't have the wisdom of the bodhisattvas. We really don't know how to help. But we can do, all of us, what we all can do is help release the internal pressure. When they're afflicted, when they need to be tamed and subdued, they're actually going crazy. So for them to hear of someone who cares and come near you when they're in that state, okay, it's the chance for them to release it. So it's very, very helpful, a lot more than you think. And that's real help to me. We don't have the wisdom to really fix the problems, but we can help them relieve the pressure and then make them sway their heart a little bit by seeing that there's some people in the world who care for them. That's all. Nothing expected back in return. That's how we help. Okay? And then eventually, when you have wisdom, you know a little bit more, then you can really help. Okay? Yes, sir. 2.
Master, sometimes it seems to me that when you help, and including when you listen, and you, it feels as if you take on some of the energy that they're venting. If that's true, can you explain why that is?
Yeah, of course I can. What's the wisdom in this country pay you? You've been here long enough. You should know the wisdom, American wisdom, by now. What's the rationale? What's the principle behind it? Anyway, time to impress our our K visitors. They're here all the way from K-land. Okay, impress them with your American wisdom. I want nothing Korean wisdom. No Korean wisdom, no Chinese wisdom. I want American wisdom. What's the principle here? No one knows? Oh, I forgot. You're all yellow, except for one. Yes, 9.
Like meddling?
Meddling, yes,
when
absolutely.
you're taking, like when you're helping without being asked, or like you're
Yeah.
carrying their load?
Yeah, but that's my words. American, I'm not really American. Come on. American wisdom. What is it? The wisdom here is what? Is no good deed goes unpunished. Who's that authority on that? I think like John Wayne or something. It's very true. That American wisdom says, no good deed goes unpunished. You do good, you still get hurt. So don't come to Mama and say, Mama, I helped someone, but and he ended up biting me in the butt. Mama would tell you, no good deed goes unpunished, son. Agree or disagree? Look back in the wisdom here of the West. Isn't that true? Can you think of a case where you help someone and you say, "Oh, I have no problems"? So cool. If that were the case, then everyone will be going out to help everyone else. I rest my case. Because most of you, when you try to help someone else, you ended up getting in trouble eventually. You're lucky, you see the connection right away. You help your husband, he goes back and says, he yells at you. Yeah? What did you do that for? And what's the Buddhist principle behind it? I think he is more interested in Buddhist principles, not American principles. Yeah? How come I can read your mind? I'm kidding. Yeah? It's just logical. What's the Buddhist principle behind it? See, whether you explain it from Western perspective, Buddhist perspective, it's still the same thing. You get hurt, you have to pay the price. What's a Buddhist principle? Cause and effect. What does it mean? Cause and effect. Even Buddhists must undergo cause and effect. No one can change it. No one. Because it's very profound Buddhist wisdom. When, for example, let me use this visitor from across the border. Puebla? You still live in Puebla? You didn't move to Mexico City? Okay. Okay. When she goes berserk, okay? Assuming she's the one who goes berserk, okay? It's suffering, isn't it? Right? Why is she suffering? Because in the past, she caused suffering to someone else. Now she has undergone suffering to pay it back. Yeah? Cause and effect. Buddhists can't change that. Buddhists too, when it comes to our world, he has undergone suffering himself. Because he caused suffering to Devadatta, to a lot of people himself. So he suffered as well. Okay? So she's suffering because she inflicted pain and suffering to others in the past. Could be last month, could be last year, could be 40 years ago, could be 40 lifetimes ago. Okay? Bottom line, you're suffering, she's suffering because it's her retribution. Yeah? When you help her, where does the suffering go? You think? Someone has to suffer. That's how the universe is in balance. Huh? It's in balance because there's an amount of suffering here that has happened so that the world is okay. So now you help her so that she no longer suffers. Where does the suffering go, sir? To Mama. To you. Or to someone. Someone has to suffer. Yes, sir. 4. 2.
So, okay, in this case, you're kind of splitting the check with that's due. Now, is it possible to do the reverse? So let's say they have good karma. Can you take some of theirs?
Can you what?
So right now, you're taking bad karma from them. Okay, is it possible?
I'm not saying you have to take it back. I'm just saying that the suffering has to go somewhere. It doesn't necessarily go to you. I'm just saying the suffering. The world is in balance because there's suffering and there's happiness. Okay? Too much suffering here, it has to be compensated somehow. Okay? Okay? So if you remove the suffering here, it goes somewhere else so that it's still in balance. Because That's how it works, cause and effect. Yes. 3.
Emitofuo Master, I don't know. I seem to have a good karma story happening just recently and actually today. So what happened was I got an opportunity to travel to come to DDT. I called my friends and asked if they wanted to go. They didn't want to go, and I wasn't gonna go. But my friend convinced me to go. So in the end, I end up here. And this happened, Wednesday, Thursday. And then my friend wanted to come to DDT. But she couldn't go. I was trying to help her to ask somebody, so the plan got canceled. She couldn't go. But somehow today, I'm here. Today, somebody, that same person, told my friend, oh, I'm taking you to DDT. Mm-hmm. So it's a good karma retribution, I guess, this example.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. What was your point again?
His question, if good karma would come back with good help come back with good karma.
Let's hope so.
Master, don't be jinxing it.
Okay, anyone else? All right. So that's how it works. When you help someone, it's an act of giving. Yes, wisdom. When you have wisdom, that's when you try to help. When you help, it's not free. All right? That's why it's called a virtuous act, is to give. Because the Buddhists, we are taught to practice giving, knowing full well that we'll have to suffer when we give. One form or another, we have to suffer. Someone has to suffer on our Buddhist side so that relief can be given to the people who need it. Okay, it's not theoretical. My late Chinese master, okay, he suffered his entire life so that he could help people. And he's not afraid of it. Because unlike you, when you suffer, you go crazy. When he suffers, he actually becomes better. That's his practice, by the way. He no longer, like you, like us, was able to cultivate and cross his legs. He's too busy helping others. He has no time to cross his legs. He's working and working. I was there when I first came to see him with my parents, my late parents, to ask him to shave my head. And he was so frail, and he was dying. And he would die like 3-4 months later, okay? It was near death. He still would come out, see me, and I said, I'd like to leave the home life. I said, okay, that's very good. So in the midst of his pain and suffering, he still went on and took on my burden, okay? Because when you take on a loved one person, you have to carry them on the back. This is our tradition. We know that. We all know that. Okay? So even when he was dying, he still decided to put me on his shoulders. Okay? And so you see, these people like Master, they don't have time to practice like us anymore. Okay, so they work. Okay, and they practice giving. When you practice giving, you have to take a loss. You don't say I'm giving and you expect to gain from your giving. That's not Buddhist. We Buddhists, when we practice giving, we intentionally give, and we prepare for that loss. The sooner that you understand that, the better off you are, because that's how it is with him. He may be suffering physically, but actually, spiritually, he's getting better. Okay? So don't have to feel sorry for him. Anyone else? 597, Celestial King, brightly shining. Gain a passage into liberation of transcending all karmic obstacles and abjuring the deeds of demons.
光照天王，得超出一切业障，不随魔所作解脱门。
Sounds simple, doesn't it? Okay, he got there, he became a big shot, he got to this position by transcending all karmic obstacles and abjuring the deeds of demons. What does it mean to you? I don't know why Master Hsuan was talking about. Okay. What do you think? What's the message here? Would you like to read this? Would you like to read his explanations? Ready? Read faster. Go back. Done? Nod your head. Next. Go back. You're so slow. Okay, we'll wait for Pei Yun because she's the slowest reader. Yes, 8. Go ahead.
You asked me a question. I was just answering Auntie's question. She asked me,
Okay.
why can't I cross my leg anymore? And I was telling her I haven't do it for a while.
Yeah, for years, yeah, I know.
Sorry. Did you ask a question?
No, I wasn't. I was just horsing around.
I see.
Anyone? Are you ready? Next. This is what the Chinese would like you to understand. Got that? Concept here, obstacles, karmic obstacles, retribution obstacles, and affliction obstacles. They are very scary. It's no casual matter. When things are not going your way, you're encountering obstructions. Correct? There are 3 kinds. Karmic obstructions, retribution obstructions, and affliction obstructions. Okay? Obstruction meaning that you find it difficult to proceed with your project, with your endeavor. Is that clear? Okay? And the reason you're struggling is because the 3 different types of difficulties. One is affliction. Okay? Meaning it's inside. You fed up. You said, enough of this suffering, I give up. So you yourself stopped yourself. That's it. No one else. You decide to stop yourself. Okay? That's why it's afflicted. It says, this is too much. It's not worth it to me. That's why, because of your afflictions. Okay? Number 2, retribution means that you're being obstructed because in the past you obstructed others. Now they come to obstruct you, to get back at you. Be careful. When you are jealous and you obstruct others, in the future they'll come and obstruct you. So that's why in Buddhism we teach you about rejoicing in others' merit and virtue. The great Bodhisattva, Universal Word, he taught us that. As part of our Mahayana practice, he says, when something good happens to you, I'm very happy for you. And I mean it. Not like the Americans, I'm so happy for you, but you're so jealous and envious inside. No? That's what happens. Okay? Outside, oh, I'm so happy. Oh, it's so nice. That's heaven. Let's go celebrate. But inside, you are just lucky. That's all. And the boss is not fair. Okay? Because of that, in the future, you got obstructed. Or when we're going to have a Chanchi soon here, next month, and when you see people sitting still and you say, oh my God, I mean, he's probably faking it or asleep. So you come over and take a pin and stick it in Master Z's shoulders in the back. See if he moves. Okay, so you are obstructing him from his Chan practice. In the future, boy, are you in trouble. You know what's going to happen to you in the future for sticking a pin into his back when he's meditating? Dr. Fang there, right there, will come to you with this big syringe and stick it into you for your flu shot. Okay? Obstructs mean you obstruct one, actually you obstruct the wrong guy, so it comes back 10 times, 10,000 times more. You have to be scared. You have to be careful about who you obstruct. Okay? Because there's a retribution coming back. Pick on someone who's lightweight. Okay? Yes, 7.
Master, Emitofuo Master, I just want to clarify about this part just in case people get scared about vaccination. Most of the flu shot or COVID shot, the needle is not that big. But if necessary, I can get some big needles to help if to pay back for anybody afflicted in Master Z.
I want our Korean guests to know what's really happening in America for flu shots. We use big syringe like this. Okay? And that's called obstacles of retribution. You see, you just stick a needle pin in him, but then you say, why? It's not fair. Why is it I only stick a needle in him? No, it's because you pick on the wrong guy. It's like you stick a needle into, I don't know, Donald Trump, maybe. Just pick a name out of the air. Whoop. You think he's going to just stick a needle back in you? No, he's going to give you a syringe. Okay? And so that's why it's scary. Be careful. Don't obstruct people intentionally. Because you obstruct the wrong people, boy, are you in trouble. Okay? And the third one is karmic obstructions, meaning that karmic basically says something you're doing is very difficult. It takes 4 years to get a bachelor's degree, so it's not that fast. Okay? So that's why it's karmic. The nature of the endeavor is difficult. Okay? So far, so good? You got it? So let me ask you. Where are we? Oh yeah, see, that's why I was confused. I said, look at the next one, and I said, say what? What happened to my obstructions? Okay. That's a Chinese explanation. Would you like to hear the American explanation? If you don't want to hear it, we can move on. He says here, transcending all karmic obstacles and abjuring the deeds of demons. This to me is so revealing. Why is it a big deal? Why is it such a big deal for him to become a big wig, such a big shot? What's a big deal? It sounds so simple. You transcend karmic obstacles and abjuring the deeds of demons. What's really going on behind the scenes? What's the message here? Of course, I don't expect you to understand. Because that's why it's easy for you to stick to this Chinese explanation. Okay? Would you like to go through it again? Next. See, it's easier for you. See, it is a lot more sensible to you. But this is what he's talking about. If that's what he's talking about here, well, the way they explain to you here, then I doubt he can make it to become celestial king, brightly shining. Here's what really happens. Okay? Okay, here's what happens. Remember the background. He's a real big shot. Okay? He's not doing small things. He doesn't like to you. He doesn't go and I don't know, do something, name something. I don't know, cook, go to work, whatever. No, he's a celestial king. There's a lot of important stuff, unimaginable stuff to you. Okay, he does big things. He doesn't do small things at all. Unlike us, we do small things. We worry about small things. Oh, I hope she likes me. Oh, I hope I get a raise. Yeah? I wish he'd give me a ring. It's so small. Should ask for 100 rings. This guy thinks of 1,000, 10,000, 1,000,000 things. Affects, the entire state of California, multiplied by 1 billion. That's how big he thinks. Got that? Along with that, when he encounters obstructions, which he does, because imagine not one obstruction. For you, someone sticks a needle into you like this, you go crazy. Why me? Why do you pick on me, right? Okay, no, for him it's like so many of these crazy things happen at the same time. Okay? And so he's obstructed. What happens to him? He goes berserk. Unlike you go berserk, you yell at someone, right? He goes berserk. Are we in trouble? Okay? So the point here is that his actions has huge consequences. When he's upset, it affects a lot of people. When you're upset, only your son suffers. Yes? Your family member suffers. But when he's upset, oh boy, we all suffer. Is it clear? You understand the magnitude of his problems. So what's the point? When he's upset, he's very careful not to do anything stupid. He said, instead of, like slapping at someone, and if he gets upset, he slaps, and like 1 million people get slapped at. You see that? So this is demonic. Demons don't do with one like you. You only, when you met someone, I'm going to kill you. Demons, when they're mad at you, they kill you, your brother, your mother, your father, your uncle, your ancestors. Understand? that's why when he has obstructions, this celestial king here at his level, because he does big things, then he's tempted to act on his afflictions. And if he acts on his afflictions, that is a deed of demons. Does it make sense to you now? Is it clearer now? Why he's there? Because what he does is humongous. And if he does the wrong things, he destroys and can hurt a lot of living beings. That's a deed of the demon. Demons don't hurt just one. They hurt a lot of people. They're not interested in one person. Again, you pick on a demon, they come at your parents, your children, your friends, everyone, to make sure you suffer everywhere you look. Isn't that interesting? You think that your world is so simple. You say, oh, I hope he likes me. I hope he's not too upset at me. And this guy here, when he's upset, he can kill you, all of you, just like that. And that's demonic. And if you're able to control yourself, then you create a lot of blessings and your wisdom. Okay? Does it help? Okay. When you go home and tell your mother about what you learned today, tell her about the Chinese version. Don't tell her about the American version. Okay, next. Celestial King universally contemplating those with great renown, gain a passage into liberation of, deftly enticing and instructing the celestial multitudes, encouraging them to purify their minds through practice.
普观察大名称天王，得善诱毁一切诸天众，令受行心清净解脱门。
Okay, never mind Chinese version. Just a minute. Okay. Yeah, along that line. That's correct. Another aspect of the heavenly life in the heavens. Huh? Don't tell me that. Don't go home and tell your boyfriend, your husband, and I had such a boring afternoon. I learned about Buddhism. No, today you learn about what's really happening in the heavens. Okay? Here's what happens in the heavens. Okay? When you're born in the heavens, up there, by the way, up there, they sit in full lotus. They don't sit on the chair. Why? Because when they sit in full lotus, you feel better. You sit anyway. You see, we professional, when we sit in full lotus because we feel better. As long as you're sitting, why not feel better? Seriously. Professional secret, okay? Impressed? Never mind. Okay. Celestial beings, why are they born up there, you think? Because they want to have a good time. You're born to the heaven because you want to go up there and enjoy all the heavenly blessings. Everything up there is so nice. Okay? the music is fantastic. Okay? Better than what's popular nowadays. My time is Mozart. Okay? I never heard of Mozart. Teji Sunim, what's good music nowadays? Now check her out. She's been a nun for 20 years now, 10 years. So what's good music? Jam Sunim, help her out. What's good music? They're from Korea, that's C. You heard of Taylor Swift? God, you're so boring. They've been monks and nuns too long. Okay. So in the heavens, you go up there because, let me tell you, whatever you so attached to comfort and luxury right now, ain't nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Up there, everything is nice. Even the poorest celestial beings, I swear to God, they all wear piana. Fail. Piana? Anyone? Okay, let me try again. Chanel? Chanel, no, okay. No, Chanel is no longer hot nowadays. It's piana. You guys are the most boring Buddhist disciples I know. Master Z, I understand, but the rest of you, what is the matter with you? Live a little. So my point being, like, up there, they all wear designer clothes, the finest materials. Piana is known because they get the rarest fabric materials. They used to deal. They used to be a dealer. They go and found some really fancy fabric and so forth, and they contract people to make fabric for them, bring it back here to the U.S., to Europe, and they sold them a huge profit. And they're so profitable because they are the corner of the market. No one has it. Are you interested now, huh? Okay? And that's how these people, and once they got that, they said, it turns out that we're the only one who has it. Therefore, that's increase our profit by doing what? Hiring people to turn the fabric into clothes. So now, instead of 50% profit, you turn to clothes, you add another 50%, 100% profit. Now you have a 200%, 300% profit margin. Impressed. I give up. You guys are the most boring people in San Francisco. So anyway, so up there, your clothes are incredible. Your food is at least 6 Michelin stars, not 3. Okay? And so everything up there is fantastic. Okay? And once you're up there, you go down here, it's like Singapore Airline. Is that all you got up there? Okay? You guys don't know how to live. Singapore Airline, give me a break. Okay? And so the celestial beings up there, they are so they live in luxury, they live happy 24 hours a day. And when you're that happy, you don't cultivate. You see, because cultivation is what? What's cultivation? 培育.
Endurance suffering.
Suffering. Thank you very much. See? When people, the Chinese, they are the most sneaky people in the world, I think, are the Chinese. The Chinese like to say, we all cultivate, we need to cultivate. Cultivation is what we do. But no, there should have been more honest and say, we suffer, we practice suffering. Because cultivation is suffering. You have to suffer first before you can increase your pleasure. After suffering, your pleasure increases. Now, it sounds like masochism. There isn't. There's a principle behind it, but it's too much to go into for it today. I'm tired because it's like trying to pull you along to the heavens, and none of you. I don't know. We like it here. We happy here. You know. So, no, it's nothing. You go up there and you say, I'm not going back down here to the human realm. Human realm is so much suffering. Up there, you're God. You have 50 wives, man. 50 wives, minimum. No, they're all very happy. Here, if we have 50 wives, it's suffering. Up there, we all are happy. My father came up there, went up there. He said, wow, this demon heavens, the women are previous in the desire realm, I gotta go up there. And we went up there. He liked it so much. When my late mother told me, you talk to him, make sure he goes to the Pure Land. You hear? Because when she heard, I told her that my late father, is up in the 6th desire heaven where the heavenly demons are, and those gorgeous, irresistible demon women. She says, you send in the Pure Land, you hear? And I said, he won't listen to me. He didn't. I talked to him and he said, what's the hurry, man? I'm happy now. I go to the Pure Land, I'm slightly happier, so what? Anyway, where were we again? So the heavenly beings, they're so happy. And so for them to say, practicing or cultivation, they say, I'm out of here, you crazy. What are you talking about? Speak a language I understand. So this heavenly king here, look, his incredible wisdom. How do you convince someone who is so happy, so content, to cultivate? That's his level of wisdom. Incredible wisdom. It's a very difficult thing to do. I don't know how to do it, to be honest with you. Because here in our Saha world, when someone's happy, successful, rich, and everything, I say, good luck. I can't help you. I need your help. You don't need my help. You see? And yet, he's up there, and somehow he figures out a way to convince them to cultivate. That's incredible wisdom. Isn't that cool? That's how he became a big shot, because he does things that are impossible to do. He finds a challenge and says, it's the most difficult thing to do. I'm going to do it. You know how long it took me to convince my father to go from the sixth eye heaven to Western Bliss Pure Land? You know how long it took me? Okay, every time I talk to him, he looked at his wife and said, okay, you're right. And they all throw themselves at his feet. They say, Chàng ơi, chàng đừng có đi. It's Vietnamese, you don't need to know. Translate for them. What does it mean? Correct. Isn't it funny how, I spend time talking to you because I want you to open your mind and understand outside of your world is really fantastic worlds, okay? And look at what these people with great wisdom are doing to handle such challenges. We complain, we bitch and moan, we complain, life is so difficult, I have so much suffering. And these people, their task is so really monumental compared to us. Their struggles are incredible. And they could do it because of their wisdom. The bigger your wisdom, the bigger problems you can handle. That's why cultivation is fun, folks. They love doing this. Let me assure you, they are not that crazy about becoming celestial king. They don't want to be known as universally contemplating those with great renown. No, they don't care. But they're doing it because they derive tremendous rewards and pleasure out of the challenges they face. Instead of complaining, it's so difficult, go away. Yes? Sorry, 7.
Emitofuo Master, I have to say, listen to the Celestial King. I feel very embarrassed to admit I feel so small. So before I help, because I cannot feel the consequences much, and I cultivate, even 1 hour make a big difference for me. So I feel like really happy and content. I feel like I'm helping people, I'm making progress. Maybe I'm making progress. Now I can see and feel more and more clearly when I help certain people. I can feel things coming onto me, and I know I can handle it, because as long as I can see, for example, I can sit for 2 hours a day or bowing or practicing something, then I can handle it. But meanwhile, I notice it's getting more and more difficult, because sometimes after I help people, there will be a lot of issues. For example, I cannot get up, or family will get sick, or work environment, there are certain things. Then initially I notice I'm looking for excuses like, it's getting too difficult, I cannot help people anymore, it's getting too challenged. But I can see clearly, I'm just afraid. I'm afraid if I cannot have enough time to cultivate, then I will not be able to continue the pleasant, the content, the feeling like I feel so special, I can help people. I guess I'm asking the question because I feel stuck. I feel like it should not be a conflict cultivating and helping people. Like you said, Master YongHua doesn't even have time to sit. But with my limited wisdom, I see it as an obstruction or conflict with each other. So I'm looking for some guidance. Thank you, Master. Thank you.
Help. How do you advise her? What would you tell her. Because my answer to her is that I don't try to help people. So I don't know what you're talking about. Anyone? Is that clock slow or fast? Don't you hate it when you're going so well and then someone asks you, I said,
Sorry.
Can we stick to like things up there in heavens where it has nothing to do with us? We can say anything we want, and you cannot tell the difference as long as it sounds good. The answer is too much thinking. It's typical of smart people. When they do something, they are constantly asking themselves, is this beneficial? This is beneficial. Am I going anywhere? I'm going anywhere. It's calculating. Okay? There's no need for that. When you eventually, everyone goes through that phase, eventually, and you get to the phase where you said, I'm going to do it because it's the right thing to do. That's all. You don't worry about rewards, don't worry about whether it works or not. It's just the right thing to do. Okay? Then you're free from all this calculating and all this, like smart people, educated people do. They say, they make sure it's worth it, or it's justifiable to their spouses, to their families, and so forth. Okay, for us, we do it because it's the right thing to do, and of course, we don't expect others to understand, but we believe it's the right thing to do. We do it, and if you stop calculating and measuring and checking, okay, and then all of a sudden you are free from all the petty stuff, and then you don't have to feel to justify to yourself anymore that it makes sense. You only have to worry about justifying to your family and to others that it makes sense. So you cut off half of the worries already. Okay? Stop thinking so much. Yeah. Okay? Look around you. Look at all these people. They've been doing it longer than you. Even some are a lot longer than you. Some are shorter than you. But it's the same common denominator. They do it because it feels right here in the heart. Okay? And it's not something that requires approval from anyone. You know in your heart it's the right thing to do. Okay? And don't expect your husband or your family, your friends to approve of it. It's not that important. We try to avoid alienating them, afflicting them, but don't expect them to understand it, because unless you drink, you take a sip of that champagne, sip of the drink, okay, you won't know what it's like. So you cannot tell others about it. Okay? So all we can hope for is appease their affliction, that's all. Because they feel threatened that that you're focusing on someone else or something else more than them. So they feel insecure about it. And that's normal. Okay? So you have to learn to deal with it. But other than that, don't worry about it so much. Okay? You're part of this community where everyone is all in it together, sharing the same resources, and going the same direction. I can't think of that many such places in the world. Okay? For example, some of my, and this is not bragging, some of my students, they left and they went to other places, and all of them, so far, have not been able to find a better environment. I would love it if they find a better environment, because I would be telling you about it. I'd say, you know, you're doing fine here, but you know there's a place. This is who I am. I'm not going to try to hold you back because I'm worried that I'm going to lose you. If this is a better place there, go there and learn. Because if I didn't do that, my wisdom will be obstructed, because I'm obstructing you. If I do things to obstruct you from growth and development, then I can no longer grow and develop. So I'm telling you this because 100% of all these people, they could not find anything better, and they actually are regressing. They have been regressing. None of them is better off. None. Not only are they not better off, they're sinking. Okay? So don't worry so much. Relax. Try your best. Okay? The teachings are there. It's just that you still are calculating too much. You still are assessing too much. That's why you fail to see other stuff that others are doing. All right, we stop here today. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice rest of the weekend. Oh, tomorrow is a holiday, right? Happy holidays.